polarization. Mga 2.5 units lang ang maganda. So, for example, we have the ribose, which is made up of, so this is supposed to be galactose, no? Galactose, glucose, and fructose. Okay? Now, what's the importance of having these oligosaccharides? Okay? So, bakit siya magandang prebiotics? And ano yung health benefits na? So, based on the study by Asad Tour in 2020, these are the mechanisms by which oligosaccharides, or in general, the non-digestible oligos or the NDOs, would help benefit our immune system, or our gut in particular. So there are four mechanisms presented in the review article. So the first one is that which NDOs, itong green na to, nakikita naman yung person. So the NDOs are represented by this chain, green chain. Okay? So one mechanism by which this NDOs help us is by adhesion inhibition. So yung cells natin, di ba, typically they have this cell surface ligands which serve as receptors of microRNA cells. Eh, meron tayong tinatawag na pathogen, anong tawag po? Yung mga pumps. Sa mga surface molecules sila, which are sort of the cues for microorganisms to attach.
Sodium potassium pump.
Hindi potassium pump. Molecular patterns, pathogen molecular patterns. Okay? So those molecular patterns are sensed, kumbaga, yun yung hinahanap ng mga microorganisms for them to attach or adhere to the cell surfaces. Okay? And that will be the first step of causing the disease of pathogenesis. So in the case of these NDOs, what they do is they serve as decoys. Ano yung decoys? Yung parang they look like the pump, the molecular pattern, pero hindi sila yung molecular pattern. So the microorganism, instead of ducking on the molecular pattern, will duck on the NDOs instead. Okay, so decoy sila. So that would prevent now the adhesion. Therefore, disease causation will not progress as walang adhesion. Okay? So another proposed mechanism is by biofilm inhibition. So you have heard of biofilms. These are colonies of microorganisms which are coated by an extra polysaccharide layer. Okay, so in this case, we have the microorganisms here, the pathogens here, and then they are coated by the biofilm. So, bakit merong biofilm? Ano yung advantage nun for the microorganism? So, if they are coated with this EPS, they will not be easily washed off from the surface. Okay? So, di ba sabi ko sa inyo, yung pathogenesis starts with adhesion. Kakapit mo na yung mikrobyo. Okay? So, kung nakakapit sila, hindi sila natatanggal, so mas maganda yung ngayon, yung chance nila to cause the disease, pathogenesis. Okay? So, in that case, eto daw ng mga NDOs na to would disrupt or even inhibit the formation of biofilms. So without the biofilm, many of these pathogens will not be able to adhere to the cell surface, and so there will be no progression of pathogenesis. Okay? So another one is by growth inhibition. So basically, they would affect the cell membrane integrity of the cells. Naalala nyo, if you have the bacterial cell, very important yung integrity ng ating cell membrane. Kasi wala siyang cell wall, di ba? Yung cell wall na tinatawag niya is not a stuff of the real cell wall of plants. So, kung nag-breach yung integrity ng cell wall, that would cause inhibition of growth of the potential pathogen. So again, there will be no pathogenesis. And the other one is by toxic binding inhibition. So some of the microorganisms for them to become pathogenic, they produce toxins. Yung iba kasi, pathogenic sila by invading the cells. Okay? And in the process, they will damage the cells. But some microorganisms, some pathogens, would not invade but rather produce toxins. Okay? At itong toxins na to would be the one who would damage the cells. So itong NDOs are hypothesized to bind to the toxins. So itong mga blue circles na to represent the toxins produced by the microorganisms. So instead of the toxins binding to this one, cell surface ligands, the NDOs would bind to the toxins. So, hindi na ngayon makaka-penetrate yung toxins into the cell kasi na-block na yung receptor. Okay? Hindi na-block yung receptor. Nagkaroon ng decoy again. Iba yung pinupuntahan ng toxins. Okay? So, generally, these are the four mechanisms proposed by this group of authors regarding the anti-pathogenic mechanisms of non-digestible polygons. Okay. And there are several types of polysaccharides as enumerated in this table, as well as their bioactivities and then their sources. So let's take for example fructooligosaccharides. So ano daw yung mga bioactivities niya? So they are prebiotic, meaning they nourish, they are used by the microorganisms as food source. They also have antimicrobial, antidepressive, anti-cancer, etc., etc. So these are just some of the bioactivities investigated for this type of polysaccharides. And they were sort of manufactured from fruit peels and pomace. So pumasok dito yung word na pomace. Okay? Tandaan nyo ulit, yung 3P, one of the P's is pomace. Okay? So fruit peels and pomace. Okay, let's look at this one. Peptide oligosaccharides. Again, madami siyang mga activities na nakita nila. And it's also from fruit peel, pulp, and pomace. Okay, these are just some of the oligosaccharides na so far investigated. Okay. Now, ano naman yung role ng pili dito sa project? So you're familiar with pili, of course. No? So we have here from the inside, we have the kernel, then it's covered by the papery testa or seed coat, and then that's followed by the shell, and then the pulp, and of course the exocarp, the skin. So we have the exocarp, endocarp, and then the mesocarp, and then the endocarp. Okay. And you know how pili looks when they are unripe and then ripe. So our project is involved with the use of pili pulp. Kasi sa industries, ano ba yung ginagamit? It's mostly the kernel. Diba? Kernel, ginagawang confectionaries, ginagawa ko ano-anong products. But most of the time, in the production of the kernel products, nadi-discard lang yung pulp. Paano kasi, diba, ano ba yung usual na paano pag lanta kipili? Alam niyo yun? Diba, para mo makuha itong the shell, kailangan mo makapili yung pulp. Binababad lang yan sa tubig, diba? Hindi nga, pinapakuluan, binablanch lang siya. Okay, so you remove the pulp. Tapos, sa industries, mostly kinukuha lang nila itong kernel. Now, what happens to the pulp? The pulp now becomes part of the agro-waste. Okay? Agro-waste na siya, hindi na siya ginagamit. Although, there are also industries who make use of pulp, make press kit to get pulp oil. Ito naman pulp oil, ginagamit naman siya for cosmetics, tapos for yung mga panlahit-lahit, na skin allergy na yan. Okay. So, meron yung industry for the pulp oil, but none for the pulp itself na nagiging agro-waste. Although sa atin, kinakain yung pulp. Pero in some, ayun nga, sa mga industries, kapag na-press na nila yung oil, hindi na yung pwede kainin. Di ba? Waste na yun. And that's what we call as co-waste. Okay? So ito yun. Although itong picture na to ay grapes yan. Okay? Di ba yung grapes, pinipress din yan to create wine. So, yung mga natira, including the skin, probably the seeds, basta pag tinanggalan na siya ng either juice or oil, that's what we call as co-waste. So, na-imagine niyo yung co-waste. Okay. So, sa pili, we have the pili called co-waste. Tapos, ang product nilang kinukuha dyan ay yung pili called oil. Okay. So, ito ngayon yung ginagamit namin sa project. Para, you would like to, what's the term? You would like to valorize, okay? Put something or make something out of this waste. Okay? By the way, itong project is funded by DOST. Okay? Now, these are the general objectives of the project. So, we want to establish the potential of the 3P as a substrate to producing oligosaccharides, prebiotic characteristics using microbial isolates with high enzymatic activities. So, ang nagawa na namin is to make use of our microbial isolates and look for which of these microorganisms would produce enzymes, particularly cellulase. Okay? Kasi cellulated yung fiber. Particularly cellulase that would degrade the pili-pulp co-waste into oligosaccharides. Again, hindi siya ma-degrade further na maging monosaccharides. Kasi ang gusto natin, the prebiotic potential, oligosaccharides. Okay? So far, we have already done this. Identify the microbial isolates with high enzymatic activity. Meron na natin yan. And then, ito ginagawa ito ngayon na profiling of carbohydrate content and characterization of the TPs. And then this one, ito yung gagawin natin dito sa SP. Okay? Determination of the in vitro prebiotic properties. Hindi natin paamunin sa cytotoxicity. Ito lang, in vitro prebiotic properties of crude 3P oligos. Okay? What do you mean by in vitro? We're going to make use of cell lines. Okay? Now, ito yung procedure na susundan natin. So, we have the pili-pulp copies, and then we will determine the oligosaccharides after addition of the cellulase. Makakakuha ba tayo? Makakaproduce ba tayo ng oligosaccharides? And after that, ito na-produce na oligosaccharides, we will do prebiotic assays to really determine if yung oligosaccharides ay nakatulong na sa mikrobyo para mag-grow sila. Ginagamit ko siya ng mikrobyo na minimetabolize ko siya. Kasi baka nakaproduce na tayo ng oligos pero wala namang effect sa mikrobyo. Okay? So for the crude 3P, kailangan mo siya i-pre-treat with ethanol and then wash and dry. Fortunately, for your group, ginagawa na ito ngayon. Meron kasi ang RA for this. So ginagawa niyo na ito ngayon and nag-pre-treat na siya probably by Saturday, sabi niya, ready na yung ground, pre-treated pili-pulp base. Okay? Bakit ground? Kasi, balikan natin ito. Okay. So, bakit kailangan siya i-grind? Kailangan siya i-grind para tumaas yung surface area. Okay? Tumaas yung surface area. So, each particle would have a higher surface area for the addition of the microorganisms. Para mas madaming surface area, nakakapitan at mamimetabolize yung microorganism. Okay? So that's the purpose of grinding. There's a treatment of using ethanol to wash off other unwanted molecules present, or compounds present. So, you'll wash and dry. That will be ready by next week. Sabi niya. So, ito, hindi na natin gagawin. You will start with the DNS assay and hopefully thin layer chromatography. So, it's more on instrumentation. Hindi na daming instrumentation dito na gagawin. DNS assay, thin layer chromatography, and once we have assessed that we have the oligos, then we will do prebiotic acid. This would just be a growth assay making use of lactic acid bacteria. Meron kami available na I think 3 or 4 species of lactic acid bacteria. Okay? So, we can do that simultaneously or pwede namang 1 or 2 lang gagamitin natin. Ano? So, basically ganyan din yung flow ng ating procedure. Okay. Ano yung DNS assay? Di ba hindi na tayo gagawa ng ito? Yung sa pre-treatment. Dito na tayo magsisimula sa DNS assay until later on ang cover. So, what is DNS assay? So, DNS stands for 3,5-dinitrosalicylic acid. So, itong yellow na to is 3,5-dinitrosalicylic acid. Okay? So, the assay is a method to quantify reducing sugars. So, hindi lang siya presence absence. There would really be values. Okay? There would really be quantities. To quantify reducing sugars, particularly in enzymatic hydrolysis of folic acid. Ano yung gagamitin natin enzyme? Commercial cellulose. We have already the commercial cellulose. So, ano yung mechanism ng DNS assay? So, sabi dito, it relies on the redox reaction where reducing sugars reduce DNS to 3-amino 5-nitrosalicylic acid to this one, DNSA, causing a color change that can be measured spectrophotometrically. So, from yellow, magiging siyang, kung meron kang reducing sugars, magiging siyang orange. Okay? Or darker. So, ibig sabihin, usually, pag makita mo na your solution, after addition of the enzyme, nag-break down, okay, yung polysaccharides into smaller units, okay, and you have the reducing sugars, so there would be reaction and color change. So the darker the color, you have higher concentration of reducing sugars. Okay? So yan basically yung principle behind the DNS assay. Colorimetric lang siya. Pero, sabi na dito, we are going to use spectrophotometer kasi we will quantify. Okay? Pag ganito kasi, visual lang, with your naked eye, makikita mo may change. Pero yung magnitude of change, hindi mo siya makikita. Okay? Hindi mo maka-quantify unless you do spectrophotometer readings. Meron natin naman kaming protocol dyan based on the previous preliminary assays. Okay. So, what are reducing sugars? Naalala niyo pa yung redox reaction?
Shipping.
Yung principle, yung mechanism. Something to do with the donation and acceptance of electrons, di ba?
Yes.
So, reducing sugars can donate electrons. Okay? So, they donate electrons, so they reduce. Now, oxidize in the process, and they reduce the electronegativity of the compound or the molecule which accepted the electrons. Okay? So, examples of reducing sugars would be here. This one, glucose, galactose, fructose, etc. etc. Okay? Including lactose. So, ang gusto natin would not be glucose kasi monosaccharide ito. Diba? Not lactose, not galactose, not this, but rather something like cellulose and similar reducing sugars na 2 to 5 oligosaccharides, 2 to 5 proteins. Even 10. Okay? Lactose, of course, comes from milk. So, we don't expect to have lactose coming from the chemical forms. It's more of the cellulose and some other oligosaccharides. Okay? Now, the other way of knowing whether you really have oligosaccharides is by the way of chromatography. Okay? So, meron tayong equipment for this, and then may process din naman siya. But basically, ang makikita nyo would be spots traveling across, okay, ano nga ba ito? Basta traveling along the tape, and there will be corresponding RF values or naman din ng RF values. Retention factor. Retention factor. Okay? Isa. Retention factor. Basta FF isa.
Parang rheumatoid factor, ma'am.
Hindi siya rheumatoid factor. Basta it's the measure of how far the spot travel from the base up to kung saan siya pupunta. Okay? I think it's retention factor. Okay? So kung makikita niyo dito, for example, you have here different sugars, monosaccharides, disaccharides, and then the oligos, and then the polysaccharides. Okay? So ito yung magiging controls. So alin dito yung gusto nating spots? Definitely, itong number 4 and 5, something like this. Okay? We don't want ito na monosaccharides, we don't want yung disaccharides. So we want something na which look like number 4 and 5. So in this case, okay, yung several other things, meron silang mukhang oligos na. Kasi diba, tingnan mo si number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Saan ba siya nag-travel? Hanggang dito lang, diba? Nasaan si oligos natin? Hanggang dito lang din. Although ito isa, umabot pa hanggang doon. Okay? Pero, ito yung standards naman, ay, ito naman yung control group. Ito kasi from the thesis of our previous students. Commercially, ay ito yung sa microbial enzyme. Tapos ito naman yung sa commercial cellulose na ginamit nila. So, ganun din, at different hours, meron na silang nakuha din ng mga mga oligosaccharides. Okay? So, meron na tayong susundan ng protocol. Okay? Now, ano ba yung in-expect na output? So, we have here the RF standards, the RF value, and then, ano yung nasaan dito yung approximately nasaan yung mga samples nyo given the standards. Okay? Now, so tapos na tayo dito, no? Determination of polysaccharides after the addition of commercial cellulase to the silicon omis. After that, we will proceed with the prebiotic acid. Sabi ko nga, growth assay of lactic acid bacteria. So we have the lactic acid bacteria, but they are right now in a frozen state. Nasa glycerol stock. Okay? So what you will do would be to revive this. Revive by plating. And then, pag na-revive na, you would have the broth, MRS broth, to grow the microcells. And then add your oligos, yung fractions. Okay? Add the oligos, and then see if the cells here will be able to grow given your oligosaccharides. Okay? Of course, you would have controls. We would have media without oligos, media na iba yung oligos, standard oligos, and then our treatments. It could be different concentrations of the oligos. So, how would we know if, again, quantitatively, merong effect yung oligos doon sa growth ng lactic acid bacteria? Pwedeng dalawa yung gawin. So, we have here the sample, treated sample. It's either we do spectrophotometer pa din, pero we use microwave plates. Pwede kasing gawin na nakatube sila, tapos portion of that, lalagay yung sa cuvette, dinidid mo isa-isa. Pwede naman na you make use of a microwave plate. Okay? So, ang microwave plate, maliit lang yan, ganito lang siya kalaki. Ganito lang siya kalaki, tapos may mga small wells dyan. Okay? Tapos you would place in those wells your sample. So, madalihan na agad. Okay? Madalihan na agad, tapos dinilit mo, isang pasada lang yan, meron ka ng values. Okay? At the same time, Or kaya alternatively, we can do colony counting. So magdadilute tayo, tapos mag-replating, and then we count for the colonies, and after that, you can estimate the colony forming units, okay? Or the number of cells present per ml of your sample, okay? So in this case, usually sa colony forming units, ang ginakount lang natin for the computation would be those colonies in the 30 to 300 range. So in this case, meron kang 420 colonies, 43, 51, and 20. Sabi ko kanina, 30 to 300. So in this case, ang pwede mo lang magamit would be this one, and then this one. This one would be an overestimation, kasi pag kinount mo yan, madami, you might overestimate the number of cells. But ito naman, you might underestimate the number of cells. So for accuracy, etong dalawa, 51 and 43, because they fall within the range of countable colonies for the computation of colony forming units per ml of your sample. Okay? So pwedeng ito gawin natin, pwedeng ito, or pwedeng yung dalawa. Depende sa ating time frame. At depende sa kung gaano kayo kabilis magtrabaho. Kasi ito mabilisan to, pero ito will take time. Okay? Now, ito yung output dapat dito sa portion na to. Okay? So what is this? Can you recall from your Gen Micro class? Can you recall this one? What the figure tells us? Natatandaan niyo yung bacterial growth curve? Diba? In bacterial growth curve, there are 4 phases. The lag phase, exponential phase, and then the stationary phase, and then hindi na dito pinakita yung decline or the death phase. Okay? So, if you do either this one or this one, you will now plot. Okay? Plot the number of cells, either by colony forming units or by the normal logarithm of the optical density, kung magagamit tayo ng spectrophotometer. Plot that in relation to time. Kasi meron siyang incubation times, different incubation times. So, nakikita natin ngayon, if yung cells mo ba ay dumadami, okay, given the treatment, or yung cells mo ba dumadami given the different controls. Yung control mo could just be negative control, or yung positive controls na known already sometimes. And then, if you have this one, if you have the exponential phase, you can actually compute for the growth rate. Okay? So, the growth rate tells us the number of generations to time that could happen in your bacterial population. And if you have different growth rates, you can compare which one would grow faster. So, ano ngayon yung effect? Kung halimbawa ito, if we have this treatment with a higher growth rate, ano ibig sabihin nun? As over the treatment with a lower growth rate. Okay? So, makakompute nyo yan by getting the slope of the curve. How do you get the slope? Natandaan nyo pa, algebra?
X sub 1 minus X.
Y equals mx plus d. The x would be the slope. Okay? At the m not the x, parang the x would be the slope. Okay, so makakuha nyo na ulit. Madali lang yung gawin. You can put in Excel 5 if you have the data. Okay? So basically, yun ang gagawin natin, no? Get, again, do something like this, yes, assay, and then if we can still have the time, we can do the TLC. Maganda kung makapag-TLC din kayo, and then prebiotic potential using spectrophotometer or by the traditional or conventional technique. Okay? Now, let's look at the timeline. let's be smart, di ba? Sa research, dapat smart ka. Kung ano rin yung smart, specific, and stands for what? Basta yung T is time bound. Okay? So, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks to go. Na-realize mo ba yun? Ang bilis-bilis ng mid-year, di ba? Bilis-bilis ng mid-year, kaya na, mas mahirap ang mid-year actually. Although ilala ang subjects niya, dalawa, kaya ang isa lang, di ba? Pero ang daming trabaho kasi nga, compressed yung weeks. Unlike kung regular SEM, you have 5 months to work on your data, to work on everything. Okay? So we start next week, on the week of June 23 to 27, media preparation, revival of stock closures, and all available security. Tingnan natin, ano ba yung nandito na resources? Ano na ba yung available na resources that we would be using for the rest of the weeks to come. And sabi niya ni Liz, yung RE namin, available na siya. Magiging available na yung drive fill up by next week. Okay? Starting Saturday, sabi niya. So Monday, available na siya. Titingnan ko muna kung ano yung state ng Philip-Up extra. From there, gagawa ako ng scheme na susundan natin. Okay? But we can already do the revival of stock closures by this week. Okay? Hindi na yung gawin. Kailan kayo mag-unit check rep sa CMD? Kasi sinasabi ni Ma'am Dale na mag-auto-collect daw kayo.
Sabi ko sa amin, next week ko,
Okay. So next week din. So ibig sabihin, ang morning na kayo mag-work? So na? Morning? Morning ng Tuesday, ang start niya.
Ay, Monday ko, different week. Mag-exercise ko yung mga gagawin.
Oo.
Okay.
Oo. Kasi, para ma-maximize natin yung autoclave, yung gagamitin nyo sa CMD, isabay na natin sa pag-autoclave na gagamitin natin. Isabay ito. Kasi sayang ng kuryente, no? So, para isang salang na lang. Okay? So, by Monday, titingnan ko kung ano yung mga gagawin natin. By Tuesday, media prep na din. Kasabay ng gagawin ni with Monday. So, buong Tuesday, laboratory lang. Okay? May oras lang kasi yung pag-autoclave natin. It's at 9 a.m. Then, or 10 a.m. Tapos, another in the afternoon by around 2 or 3. Tapos, that would take around 3 hours in isang cycle. So, kung magsasalang kayo ng 3 plus 3, ano na yun, mga 6 o'clock matatapos. Okay? Kaya, dapat isahan. Hindi pwedeng ilang salang eh. Kasi baka medyo matagal na yung autoclave, medyo ito matanda na, makaiwanan na tayo. Okay? So, may oras lang siya pala. Okay. So, after that, the following week, or even this week, depende sa bilis ng trabaho na, hindi pala. Kasi 23, tapos 24 is graduation sa BU. Siyempre kasama kami. So mag-media prep lang tayo. Tingnan natin if on the 25th and Friday makakapag-prepare tayo. Para by the following week, we do the DNS assay, trial and error kasi ito. No? Depende sa substrate mo. Minsan, kung titingnan dito, magkakaroon siya ng changing color, diba? Kapag very dark na, mahirap na siyang basahin ng spectrum. So, hindi siya napabasa. You have to dilute. Kaya trial and error pa din siya. May protocol, pero you have to test and do some modifications if needed. Okay? So, yan. Ayan. Okay? Then, July 7 na, do the growth assay. After that, madali lang itong growth assay. Siguro mga 3 days, meron na kayong data. Pero of course, kayo gagawa ng media hanggang dun sa decontamination kayo. Okay? Siyempre, hindi kayo mag-clear for the SEM without returning all the materials that you borrowed from the instrumentation. But rest assured that all materials, media, pipette tips, and other consumables will be provided by us. Okay? Available na siya. Now, tingnan niyo dito. The data analysis, nandito, nilagay ko, shared data. Ibig sabihin, kayong tatlo mag-work doon sa buong project, buong activity. Okay? So, hati-hati ng trabaho, collaborate with each other. Pero yung writing ng scientific report o scientific paper would be individual. Okay? So, isa lang yung data nyo, how you interpret it, kanya-kanya kayo. Okay? Para meron pa rin akong basis for individual rating. Okay? Hindi ko kayo tuturuan how to interpret it. Basta ito yung data nyo, paano nyo siya ito-process. Okay? If you have the colony counts, ano gagawin nyo dyan? Are you going to report it sa table ng number of cells or what? Okay? Will you do statistical analysis? Bahala kayo. Okay? So, kanya-kanyang attacking. No? Sa shared data, and the submission of the scientific paper will be on a week after the end of classes. End of classes kasi is July 17. Pero meron na kayong mga lecture, ano yan, diba? Reporting. So, I'll give you another week to submit your scientific paper. Pero, there will be no more presentation of outputs. Di ba last time, sabi ko, kung nag-off kayo, nag-iisa kayo, you will present your output individually. So, hindi na. Tinanggal ko na yan. No more presentation of outputs. Your major output would just be the scientific paper. Okay? Kasi makikita ko na doon yung individual presentation niya. Okay? Ano yung attacking mo doon sa data na nila? So, I modify the data system. Dito pa naman ginagawa yung syllabus. Buti na lang dito pa nasasabi. Kasi with this development, I modify the grading system. Okay? So, the lecture will still be the same, no? 50-50. But for the lab, the scientific paper, ginawa ko ng 70%. And then the overall lab performance will be 30%. So, I would have a mechanism to know your overall lab performance. That's 30%. Pero wala na yung presentation of output. Okay? So, yung 20% dito, pinagdag ko na dito yung 10, pinagdag ko na dito yung 10. Okay? Yung overall lab performance is actually on how you perform, how you collaborate with each other. Okay? Palpak-palpak ba? Are you wasting resources? Or are you systematic with the way you work with the lab?
So, ano pa?
Of course, there should be a record. Okay? But since it's a shared data, isa lang yung record notebook yun. But of course, as individual students, pwede kayong mag-take po ng sarili nyo din. Okay? Kasi pag nawala yung isang lab notebook, edi wala na kayo lahat ng data. And dapat, very keen kayo na all data, all observations nakasulat. Hindi pwedeng, dapat isusulat natin. Hindi pwedeng, ay mamaya kong isulat. Okay, nag-observe, mamaya ko na isulat. Or kaya, ilagay ko muna sa isang papel, newspaper, saka ko na isulat. So, delikado yun kasi makakalimutan ko yung figures or mawawala ko yung newspaper. So, dapat intact siya sa lab notebook. And from time to time, I would check the lab notebook. To really see if you have observed it, if you have the procedure properly. Okay? So, that would be all. Here sa inyong gagawin.
Yes po.
Here yung objective, procedure. The detailed procedure will be provided next week. Kapag nakita ko na yung itsura ng food chemical, kung kailangan pa ba natin i-process siya. Okay? Kung kailangan pa ba siya i-wash several times, kung kailangan pa ba siya ng alkaline treatment, or we use it as is. Okay? So, susundan nyo na lang yung procedure. Okay? Para hindi na kayo problema na anong gagawin? Recipe type na lang susundan at the data interpretation ay literally. Okay? May tanong?
Actually, ma'am, yung microbial growth curve po, is sinusolve na ng fourth year po nung nag-abort nila.
Yung?
Yung bacterial curve, growth curve po. Kaya medyo may idea na po kami for, ano po, yan po.
Yeah. Actually, we had three groups of students last year. Ito, graduate sila ngayon, senior sila ngayon. They were with us in this project. Yung isa is under Sir Art, yung isa is under sa akin, yung isa is under
Sir
under Dr. Regalia. So they made use of several isolates, no? Meron silang several isolates, tapos ginamit nila yun for the production of microbial enzymes, microbial synthase. Kaya meron na tayong protocol for the DNS, meron na tayong protocol for the TLC, susundan na lang natin ito. Kung baga may mga preliminary na, like for example, hindi na natin kailangan mag 48 hours ng enzymatic hydrolysis kasi nakita na nila na 2 hours, meron na nakikita ko nito. Okay? Ang purpose lang natin dito is again to verify what we have found out and to do the prebiotic activity. Kasi hindi sila nakaawag ng prebiotic activity. Yung sinasabi mo na growth curve, ay growth curve ng isolates nila yun. Growth curve ng isolates nila kasi they have to characterize their isolates and determine at what portion of the growth curve is the highest production of the microbial enzyme produced by the isolate, produced by the bacteria. Kaya gumawa din sila ng ganyan. In fact, ito yung data nila. Yung data nila, yan. That's just one of the three groups. And ito yung sinasabi mo na ayan, ito yung mga characterizations nila using several substances kasi nakinitas nila yung organism nila if it would be able to hydrolyze different substances. Okay? And ito yung sinasabi
Opo,
nito.
yan po.
Ayun. So, kung nagawa nila, definitely, ayan yung